Right, let me wrap up the end of Canto 20 of Orlando Furioso by Ludvigo Aristo. And yes, we got the last little hunk there where this poor knight has been defeated by Marfisa, and as a result is now bound as the cavalier and swain lover of this old hag who he had made fun of, offending Marissa. And it turns out, of course, we already know that this old hag is the same old hag that guarded, nursed, tended to Isabella in her cave. She who had been betrayed by Zerbino's friend to take off, and then pirates had gotten her, and she'd been held captive by them. And she knows all this. And indeed, she quickly, as the text says, she quickly rumbles who this guy is because Isabella actually spent a lot of time describing her Zerbino. And indeed, it's not because she's fallen in with all these horrible men that she's so despondent. It's because it's because it's because that the absence of Zerbino is what causes her so much anguish. And so she hints about this, and he's like, "Oh my God!" Immediately, is like, "Tell me, tell me." But this is, yeah, the old dame who had never set her eyes upon Zerbino rumbled who she was and why he was so sad. This is the very prince whom Isabella mentioned not long since. And they Aristo does uncharacteristic thing, which is like, if you remember how the story went, which of course I didn't, and then gives you a quick synopsis. Thank you, because I do not have that brain. I mean, the thing is, he's referring back because it was in a different canto. Because I'm splitting this up so far, I can be on day 5 of reading a canto and can't remember what the hell I read on day 1 of the canto, other than saying it out loud in these videos. So she says, I'm not going to tell you. To tell you, I would still refuse to tell you if you strangled me. No right have you, so rude you are, to hear my news. But if you had been more courteous to me, I would have told you all most willingly. Which is like, oh God. And so, she's like, no, you gotta tell you. And he's like, what the thing during the day, but she really tries to dig the knife in there, because she says something about that during the days you have not heard of her, she fell into the hands of 20 men or more. Consider after that, if ever she should return, what sort of flower then there will be left for you. Saying like, oh God, she'd probably forcibly had slept with 20 men. And but the narrator says, "Ah, how dare you, you cursed hag, to tell such lies? For when they kidnapped the fair maiden, you know well she was untouched, though in such hands she fell." But the no says like, but not a word from her he can extract. The obstinate old woman still says no. It's just love. I love this scene. I love this scene of this old woman who's like, you have been real a bastard to me. I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm going to tell you just enough to drive you nuts, but not enough that you can do it. And indeed, he immediately wants to go off to rescue her, but he can't. Being bound by what the hag prefers to do, he lost the bet. He lost the joust, the combat, and so is bound to this old hag. And so along a strange and lonely way, wherever she desired, the prince was led. No heed to one another did they pay. So it's a pretty cold ride. But as these things end, and obviously as cantos often end, for on their path they met a cavalier. What next occurred, I'll later on make clear. Thus ends the canto. So we get another. Stay tuned for next night, folks, to see what happens next. But just, yeah, I love this. I love this scene of this arrogant young knight who gets laid out by Marfisa, so embarrassed by it, his very armor blushes crimson red. And then he finds out again, on top of all this, that Isabella's alive, and this old woman knows, but he's been super rude to this ugly old woman, what he considers an ugly old woman. So he can suck it and has to, and she won't tell him, and he's got no way to extract it, and indeed can't go off searching because he is bound to this old woman. Um, Aristo definitely, well, it's like super macho culture. There's definitely a lot of subversions going on here of female warriors beating male warriors, and young knights being bound as lovers, swains to old hags who hold all the information, all the power, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I really enjoy this part. I really enjoy far more than I mean, the battle scenes are exciting, I guess, but they're also confusing with a ton of names. So this is the thing with these one-on-one confrontations that are really destabilize things. I really enjoy. So yeah, that is my little sum up on Canto 20, the final bit of Canto 20 of Orlando Furioso by Ludvigo Arresto. More videos later.